turn me around. Keep pressing on, 'cause my soul is heavy.
Yo, what's happening, man? It's your boy Rundown. If you're depressed watching your favorite sports team on the football field, but you just can't stop buying their gear, then congratulations. You might be a Raiders fan. But listen, man, don't trip. I got the perfect thing for you, man. Here at the Rundown, we have partnered with Fanatics to bring the nation some of the freshest Raider gear that you can get your hands on. I'm talking jerseys, I'm talking hats, and you know it's starting to get chilly out here, so it's best to grab you some drip for the frosty season while you're at it as well. So tap the link in the description down below, get you some fresh gear, man. Support the channel at the same time. It's a dub for you, dub for me, even though we're not getting that many dubs on the field at the moment, man. So remember, man, tap the link down below in the description to get you some fresh Raiders gear from Fanatics. Now let's get back to the show. Yes, sir, man. What is going on? What is the deal with my Raider family, man? What's happening? You are back for another episode here of the Raider Rundown, man. As you can see from the title, man, we got a lot to discuss from yesterday's ass whooping, 31-0 from the Philadelphia Eagles. It was very ugly from the start, lackluster from the start, man. I mean, just a lot to unpack here, man. Things we've discussed already. Some new things that we definitely got to talk about as well, and some more additions to the file that we got, man. We damn near like the FBI on Chauncey Billups, man. We got a file big as fuck on how Pete Carroll needs to be fired, right? We have another addition to the list from yesterday's game. So you already know what time it is, man. Before we do anything, before we get into the conversation, before we get into all that good stuff, y'all know where we got to go first, man. We're going to do a nice little... What it is, man. Nice little roll call real quick, man. Say what's up to my people and my family in the chat before we get started with the conversation, man. It really gets cracking. Man, my guy Dominique, man, what's going on with you, big dog? Salute. Yeah, hey, apologies, man. Y'all know me, man. When it comes to a rundown show, we're gonna get it cracking. We might be a little late to the party, but we're gonna get it cracking, man. All right, we're gonna really get it going. My guy, man, Michael what's going on with you, big dog? Salute. Appreciate you for being here, man. Ah, shit, we got DJ in the building and he clocking out of work. Oh, yeah, it's gonna be a real one. What's going on, JX, man? He said, I know Pete Carroll stressed as fuck. Ain't no way in hell he stays next year, bro. You saw that pressure? Ooh, you saw that? Hey, you saw that pressure, boy? That right there looked like a man that is stressed, not stressed, as some of my family members said. Y'all know how to go, man. My guy, man, Mike Holly, man. Appreciate you for being in here. And, hey, appreciate you, dog. Appreciate you. Anytime we get somebody saying that the intro is fire, it's always appreciated. What's going on with my people, man? Deuce in the building, man. What's going on, big dog? Tyler McNair. Bit nervous saying this, but there should be no way we are this bad next year. You know, it's funny. I know why you say that, because I feel like we said the same thing like last year. Like, it was like, ain't no way. There's no way we'll be this bad, you know? And then lo and behold, we're this bad. You know, we're this fucking bad. Only way it can be worse, you know, is if we pull some like Detroit Lions bullshit where we like go 0-16. You know, that's the only way it can be worse at this point. Dre, what's going on, big dog? Salute to you, man. Appreciate you for tapping in. See, look, I didn't even see this comment. You did. We all thinking alike, bro. I did not even see this comment. That's what make it funny. Deuce, man, what's going on? Had a dream we drafted Mendoza as he walked the stage. Man, what a nightmare, dog. That'd be worse than like when Aaron Rodgers ran out there with that American flag and played one play. Worse than that. Dre, word on the street, Charles Grant did all right yesterday. We're gonna talk about it. He definitely did, though. He showed me some things, bro. I was actually impressed with, you know, it was a couple reps. It wasn't like all that, you know, all that crazy amount of handful of reps, but of the handful of reps he had, it looked nice. It looked nice. I ain't gonna lie. Sun Goddess, man. What's going on, bro? What's going on? Oh, I was about to say, bro. Apologies. Let me go ahead and respectfully say what's going on with you, Queen. Appreciate you for being here. Thank you, Sun Goddess. What else we got up here, man? Michael 918 fishing 4, man. Shout out Rundown. Glad the season's almost over. Oh, I'm glad you said that, Mike. Look at this, man. 3 games left. We put the ticker, man. We got to count down like it's New Year's, man. We got 3 games left. With the most important game being in 2 weeks, actually, and we will definitely talk about that too. Y'all already know what it is. That's that Giants game, man. We got to talk about that. 805, what's going on with you, man? Appreciate you for being here. Victor, man. Hey, by the way, before I move on, if y'all really want to really get into that film and break it down, hours upon hours of that film, tap in with my dog 805 and Severe, man. They do a wonderful job over there of breaking down the film and letting you guys make your own assessments and seeing exactly, you know, what's going on behind the scenes, man. So make sure you guys tap in. If you want some extra breakdown or you want some breakdowns as well with a little different flavor, then you already know what time it is. Tap in with me and Machiavelli for the blunts and breakdowns as well. But everything is always good if you tap it in with 805 Severe or a rundown. You already know what time it is. Victor, man, what's going on with you? I've been a Browns fan for 50 years, and when I die, I want 6 Cleveland Browns to be my pallbearers. That way they can let me down one last time. Hey, but change it to Raiders, bro. But change it to Raiders. You're exactly right. Ooh, I just saw this, man. I just saw it. Second quickest game in NFL history. You know, that just tells you even the network, even the brand, which is the NFL, which makes its money off of these football games, is trying to get the Raiders the fuck off the field as quick as they can. Even the brand is trying to do that. That's how you know it's ugly work out here. It's nasty work. Oh yeah, I definitely noticed that. Lord Rochitas, man, what's going on with you, man? What's going on? Appreciate you for being here, man. Always, you know, it's all love every time you pop up, Sun Goddess. Dre for sure, man. Now we need to play Eichenberg and Lindenberg. At this point, yeah. And we're when we get to the defense, boy. Oh, we got some shit to talk about when we get to the defense. What's going on, man? What we got? Skunt in the building, man. Raiders will draft Fernando Mendoza. Don't tell my boy this. Don't tell my dog. Don't tell my dog. I'm gonna be real. Like if I have my, you know, if I have my choice, I take Dante Moore first. That's me, you know, personally. But you know, seeing Fernando win the Heisman, you gotta see what he does in the playoffs and all that extra. I can see Brady liking him too. You know, I can see Brady definitely liking him. So you already know what it is, man. Free regular schedule programming. Make sure you guys tap on the like button, on the subscribe button if you're feeling what you're hearing and it's your first time here. Appreciate you for being here. You could be anywhere else getting your Raider news, but you're here with your boy Rundown, man. So y'all know what it is, man. It's the day after the game. Usually we go through a nice little rundown of the game, right? And we talk about what's going on there. So that's what we'll do first before we get into all the news and the rumors that surrounded it. Because, of course, you know, I don't blame some of you for not watching the game. I ain't gonna lie to you. I seen a whole bunch of tweets and all that extra shit and all over social media about people, you know, for the first time in a long time, not tuning into the game. I don't blame you at all. You are not gonna hear that shit from this channel talking about you are a fake fan for not watching. I'll be honest with you. If I didn't have this channel, right, and I wasn't coming out here trying to give relevant news and all the extra shit, I wouldn't be watching it either, to be honest. But here we are. So for the people that didn't watch it, we got to give them context, right? We definitely got to give them context on just how much of an ass whipping this was, just how nasty, right? So as y'all know, okay, and probably already seen all over the place. And let me put this here, right? Yeah, it was another ass whooping. 31-0 was the final score. As my boy Mike detailed beautifully, one of the quickest games in NFL history. One of the quickest games in NFL history. Do you understand what that means? Right? That means that, again, the product, which is the NFL, is trying to get us the fuck off the field as quick as they can because nobody wants to watch this. Don't nobody want to watch this. Only people that are watching this are sickos like myself or you and I, right? People that are have to watch this to give people relevant news, the goddamn beat reporters. That's it. That's it. Of course, the Philadelphia Eagle fans, I don't know why they were even concerned. I had no idea why they were even concerned. I had the homie calling me like, hey, man, it was we might take an L this week. We've done it in the past before. I'm like, dog, are you really concerned? Are you really concerned? Have you not watched us over the past weeks? Definitely gonna get right. I think Rob Gronkowski said it best. Remember this for later. But Rob Gronkowski said it well best. The Raiders are like Neosporin, right? They heal as a team, or you're just struggling as a team, right? You're struggling as a team, period. You play. We didn't get right team for a number of years. So at this point, bro, like that does nothing for them. You know what I mean? They don't do nothing. But bro, this should be tweaking. All right. Now we got it. All right. Now we're gonna go in and talk about what's going on in the game. Apologies, I'm over here having some technical difficulties and shit. All right, there we go. Now, check me out. All right. Kenny Pickett, whoever, there was a lot of people concerned about Kenny Pickett. We talked about it earlier on in the week on Wednesday during the regular rundown show, right? We talked about it. Kenny Pickett, would he come out here? Would he be different? The 8 throws we saw him throw, previous week. Okay. What is he going to come out here and do? 15 for 25. Bro, the man has 60. I didn't even notice till I saw this. 64 total fucking yards in this game. Hey, bro, you'll find high schools in the Nevada area. Hold up. It's still cutting, coach. Let me know, because I know my shit over here fucking up. So definitely let me know if I'm still cutting off. But there we go. Yeah, definitely know. Let me know if I'm still cutting off before I go into this rant, because we definitely got some things to discuss. But I think I'm good now. It look good now. Hopefully. Okay. But again, 15 for 25. 64 yards, bro. I ain't gonna get their high school in the Nevada area throwing for better numbers. And I'm not gonna sit here and say that it's all Kenny Pickett's fault, because it's not all Kenny Pickett's fault. It's not. We're not gonna sit here and be like, oh man, it's Kenny Pickett and he's the reason that we suck. No. It's fundamentally just a bad offense and just a bad team overall. So okay, it's not all his fault. We already know that. We get that. Right. But that's what I got from this. That's what I got from this. There are no scapegoats on this team. Hold on, give me 1 second, bro. There's no way this shit's over here fucking up. We're going to do this. Give me 1 second, nation. Give me 1 second. Hey, we working through technical. Yeah, we working through technical difficulties. Don't worry about it. We got it. Okay, we good. So anyway, right? We talking about The passing numbers are the extra. So we can't blame Kenny Pickett. We're not going to sit here and just blame Kenny Pickett and be like, oh, that's it, right? Oh, he's the reason why we sucked. He's the reason we lost, because he's not the reason we fucking lost, right? He is not the reason we lost. We're an ass team to begin with. But I mean, a 47 QB rating. I mean, it is what it is. A 47 QB rating, it is what it is. There were times yesterday where I hope I'm good. But there were times yesterday where he could have got rid of the ball multiple times. But Kenny Pickett has a tendency to bail out of clean pockets. It's a whole thing, right? He has a tendency to bail out of clean pockets. He didn't play on time like I thought he would, like he was doing in those first 8 throws last week. It was a different Kenny Pickett, right? The Eagles got after him. Luckily, they only had 4 sacks. Honestly, bro, the Eagles should have had more than 4 sacks. They should have had more than 4 sacks. The fact that Kenny Pickett was moving around, that was the saving grace, to be honest with you. And he kind of saved himself from a little bit more punishment. But yeah, bro, it should have been almost 7 sacks that we gave up again, which would have been what? How many did we give up against the Browns? Was that 7 against the Browns? If we gave up 7 against the Browns, then it would have been the second time that we do something like that, right? Second time we do something like that. Okay. Now, we roll into the rushing, okay? Which, again, there's no Chip Kelly. There is no Chip Kelly to sit here and say, well, why isn't Ashton Jeanty getting these carries and doing these things, right? Because, again, when Chip Kelly was here, that's all everybody was saying. That's what I'm saying. Going into this next year, bro, real quick, we're going to do a quick little rant. Going into this next year as a fan base, and I know we're going to do it here on the rundown because this is what we do, right? This is what we do. We can't just sit here and blame everything on coordinators and shit, right? That's what we've been doing for the last 20 plus years. Oh, it's sometimes it is the head coach, but it's the coordinator's fault. It's all the coordinator's fault. And then once he gets fired, like everybody feels like everything gonna be daisies and everything gonna smell fresh. No, bro, the roses still smell like boo-boo. Either way it goes, right? We are still ass. It does not matter if you sit here and fire a coordinator left and right. We are still going to be trash. Okay, so at that point, we got to stop getting these goddamn adrenaline rushes of just firing coaches and thinking, oh, they're the sole reason of the problem. No, sirree. You have to look at the bigger picture, right? Now, I'm not saying that that's not always the case. Now, sometimes the coordinator is just ass. But, it feels like we don't look at the bigger picture sometimes and be like, oh, man, like this is the team in totality doesn't look good. Now, if it's just like one unit, you know what I mean? And that's the case. Okay, that's different. But it wasn't just one unit this year. You feel what I'm saying? Like it was every unit collectively taking turns being ass. So at this point, like that falls on the head coach. We can't just sit there and do that. And now that we know that Pete Carroll was trying to tinker and do all these things with the offense while Chip Kelly was here, what synergy are we going to have on the offensive side, right? And just for everybody that was like, oh, man, Chip Kelly, now we're going to bring it all back around, right? For everybody that was like, Chip Kelly needs to be fired. Oh, and now that he's fired, now we're going to see Ashton Jeanty get fed more. We're going to see him, produce for us a little bit more and do all these things. My man had 9 carries yesterday. He had 9 carries for 35 yards. Albeit, he had a little bit more room a couple of times. He averaged 3.9 yards per carry yesterday. Great step up from what we've been doing because, shit, he's been averaging 2 over the last games. So, he averaged a little bit more. But, again, we started getting our ass whooped early. So, you got to start throwing the ball, right? You can't just run the ball the whole time when you start getting your ass whooped. Things that many a content creator and many of people were saying while Chip Kelly was here. While he was here, people were saying this, right? Like, we're getting our ass whooped. You can't just, like, sit there and try to just hand the ball off 25 times and you're not, like, leading in these games. It makes no sense. That makes zero sense. So, again, we can't use and utilize the number 6 overall pick. Once again, showing that maybe that was iffy decision. Right? Iffy decision because you can't utilize him correctly, right? It's not talking about his talent, but just saying you can't use him the way you were supposed to use him. This is not no new thing. If you're here on the rundown, this is not no new shit we're saying about this Ashton Genty pick. It's not new, right? We've been on this. Now, about the player himself, I know that this O-line is trash, and we give him that grace. You give him that grace because this O-line is complete dog water, okay? But this is just me speaking from a player perspective. Sometimes Genty pisses me the fuck off with his running style, bro. Like, dog, you not Le'Veon Bell. Are you sitting back there in the backfield, tiptoeing and jumping around, waiting for a fucking hole, bro? This O-line's not good, bro. And that's what pisses me off about him sometimes. And we'll definitely get into it deeper in the off season, because we'll have some more time to really break it down and really show what I'm talking about. But like in the quick view of it, bro, like, again, we preface this by saying the O-line is not good. But at the same time, bro, this man, you not Le'Veon Bell, bro. You sitting back there jumping and fucking skipping and hopping around, waiting for a fucking hole to open up when you know that these O-linemen can't hold and sustain blocks, bro. You got to move. He got to go. There are times, bro, it's like he's like the wind-up toy, bro. You got to wind this motherfucker up to get him going. Run. He's sitting back there doing this shit and waiting, bro. You do not have the Eagles offensive line, even though they're banged up, but some of these better offensive lines in here, bro. You got to go. You got to make your yardage right now. And some people won't understand what I'm saying, but it's like with a bad offensive line, sometimes we've seen him show the ability to lower his shoulder. You got to make your own fucking yards and holes, bro. It is what it is. Sometimes motherfuckers is reaching out for you and doing these things when, the O-lineman's blocking half a man. You got to run through that shit. Just is what it is, bro. Like we don't have time to sit there and look pretty and dance around and then find the exact hole, and then we're going to bounce that crease for 60 yards. We're not doing that shit right now, bro. It's just not happening. And not saying that he can't do that. I'm saying that the way that we're blocking and the way that the offense is structured, we don't have the time to do that. And that's an adjustment that he going to have to make. Hopefully that we get an offensive line to let him run the way, he would like to do all these things and be patient and do all that. But we ain't got that. Got to go, bro. Got to go. We ain't, it's no more of that. Oh man, we're waiting back there. Like, bro, get the motor started. That's what gets me about him sometimes. Maybe. See? And look, bro, Genty would be good in Chicago. Let's just keep it a beam, bro. Like when the Bears fans were like, yeah, we would want Genty, he'd be great for them. That would have been a great pick. Tremendous pick. And we would have been better suited going elsewhere. It's that just is what it is, bro. We weren't there. Now I know, now that we have them, okay, we have the talent, right? There's the talent there. We have a running back. Fine. Now it makes it easy because all you got to do is you got to get an O-line, you know what I mean, to protect the quarterback and really, really take advantage of what the running back can do. Now that we know what we can do, okay, fine. But in hindsight, it is what it is, bro. Michael Guerrero in the building, man. You're not lying. You are not lying. You are not lying. So let's continue on, man. As we continue on with the offense. You're looking at the receiving numbers here. Brock Bowers, 6 receptions for 28 yards. You can say like, oh man, we got to give him the ball more, underutilized, bro. But again, like he's a tight end. You know what I mean? And not saying that in like a negative way, but it's like he's not going to stretch the field. You know what I mean? Like he's going to work all that intermediate underneath. That's what he does. You know what I mean? Get the yak underneath, give him a short pass, give him, let him catch a nice little 20-yard pass, break a tackle, take it for longer, right? That's what Bowers will do. But as far as stretching the field, right, the vertical threat, you could say it's Trey Tucker, but realistically, right, he has no 50-50 presence. There's no 50-50 jump ball presence with Trey Tucker. You know what I mean? So then you look at that. You thought Dante Thornton would be that, but he doesn't have any vertical presence about him as well, right? He has no vertical presence. Then you look at Jack Bash. Jack Bash is a more underneath grimy type of receiver that you can get him in those, intermediate to short type of routes. He had 2 catches for 17 yards yesterday, but I mean, Kenny Pickett was at 65 yards, so nobody was going to dominate. Tyler Lockett's not a big presence at all. He's not a deep, like you see where I'm going. We don't have anybody. And look, shit, Tucker didn't even have a catch yesterday. We don't have anybody to stretch the field. We have nobody that scares defenses or safeties to be like, oh shit, we can't just be one-on-one and treat this dude like he's a peon. You know what I mean? Like, for example, you look at the Giants, you can't just be like, I'm just gonna one-on-one with Malik Neighbors. I'm just not gonna do it. Or let's take it into the Raider context. When we had Devontae Adams, you could not just one-on-one with Devontae. For those couple games that we had him and Bowers, right? You saw what it was. You couldn't just be like, oh man, I'm just gonna have Bowers here, and we're gonna bracket Bowers, and that's it. You can't do that. Not with that type of weapon on the outside. You know what I mean? So you have to go ahead and treat that with respect. As of right now, all defenses can do is say we can bracket Bowers from wherever he's at, and nobody else is going to threaten us deep. That's it. So that's got to get fixed in the offseason, probably via the draft. And we definitely gonna have to go through that. It's gonna be a fun offseason this year. Another reason, and when we get to that topic, why I do want that number 1 pick, man. We talk about it all the time, bro, and I'm gonna continue to bring it up until draft season. It doesn't matter. If we got the number 1 pick in the first round, that means we got the number 1 pick in rounds 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Right? So I'm especially excited for that second round. Why? Because players tend to slip that are first-round guys, should be first-round guys, and it happens every year. They tend to slip right into that second round. That's where we can start stockpiling that talent, right? Which we so desperately need. So you going into, with the defense or with the offense, we continue with that. But again, Bowers, 6 catches, 28 yards. Besh, 2 catches, 17 yards. Lockett, 2 catches, 10 yards. Genty, 4 catches, 7 yards. Nothing. You know what I mean? There was nothing there. Nothing there. Now, you go to the defensive side of the ball. Defensive side of the ball. And this is where the conversation is going to start getting spicy. Before we even do that, man, again, regularly scheduled programmer, make sure you guys continue to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new, man. We are so close to 3K, right? So close to 3K. Last time I looked, we are almost at the 260 mark. So y'all know what that means, man. 40 more. So hopefully we can get to that 40 more and we can do it soon. Might not be during the season, but don't matter to me. 3K is 3K. Whenever I get it, whenever we get it, is whenever we get it. So as soon as we get to 3K, we doing a jersey giveaway, right? If I was y'all, I would choose an old school player before I choose a current one. But either way, bro, we do a jersey giveaway. We're gonna do a nice little show. It's gonna be fire when we do something on that day, man. But damn, lost my train of thought. Make sure you guys hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. On the road to 3K, man. We are so close, but appreciate everybody that is tapping in if you're new, and appreciate all the regulars as always. So, man, let's go ahead. Let's get into it, man. So, like we said, okay, we get into the defense. We just got to the offense. Okay, it was whatever. Now we're definitely going to get ahead and get into some spicy talk, right? We're gonna definitely get into some spicy talk. We're gonna bounce around a little bit, so I want y'all to definitely stay with me when we get into the defense, because there's a lot to talk about. But before we do that, of course, I want to go ahead. I see a lot of comments, so I want to get into some of the comments before we get into the defense. I believe in pairing players who have proven synergy. You talking about Burt? See, look, Burton got issues though. I know you like Burton, Pigs, but he got issues, bro. He got issues. Keep Pete. We don't win. I mean, for the next 3 games, for sure. For the next 3 games, keep that. Bowers and Max are the only jerseys to bet on currently. Oh, current? Yeah. You can do Genty because Genty stuck, for another 4 years. Bowers stuck for another 3 years, because you can franchise tag him and all that. So, like, Genty and Bowers and Crosby are the only 3 you can probably get that are safe right now for the next couple years, and we'll see what happens there. Dre, I need that Geno. use that shit for mulch right now. This the way that's going, E-Money, man. Sad to say, but I'm starting to think Genty is half a bust. If he was that guy, he would be able to make some plays out of this shitty line. He misses holes too, you know. That he does. Hey, bro, there are some things that he needs to work on when he comes back. I'm gonna let y'all. I'm gonna like be 100% honest, bro. If y'all sitting here thinking that it's all just the O-line, it's not. It's really not, bro. There are multitudes of things that Genty has not done this year that I look around the league that other running backs are doing, and I'm like, okay, well, what the fuck? You know what I mean? I look at Quinshon Judkins. I look at Travion Henderson. I look at, the Washington running back. I look at a lot of these guys. There's a running back at the Jaguars. You know what I mean? I think it's Tootin. A lot of these guys are performing. You look at Woody Marks, in Houston. Their O-line is shit. I don't want to hear nothing about that, right? I don't want to hear nothing about that. Their O-line is terrible. So it's like there are some things, bro. We'll detail it. When we go in the offseason, bro, we gonna have clips and we gonna have film because we're not just gonna talk. We're gonna show exactly what we talking about, right? But he be missing holes. He got to work on his short yardage running ability, right? There have been multiple times this year where we've had opportunities to move the chains and run short yardage, and he himself has not moved those chains, right? Got to work on that. Got to work on some of the lateral quickness as well, bro. Got to work on some of the lateral quickness. At the same time, bro, I think it's a mindset change as well, bro. Again, we talked about it like, you got to stop acting like he's fucking Le'Veon Bell, bro. Like, you're not. You're run like fucking Ashton Genty and go downhill. Downhill is when he is at his best, right? That's when he's at his best. Because he has this innate ability, and we'll go positive. He has this innate ability to not really lose speed as he cuts, right? He don't lose too much speed as he cuts. He has a smooth little cutting motion about him. So he has to use that. All that bouncing and shit in the backfield, that ain't gonna do nothing for you, bro. He don't have that like stop and start. You know what I mean? Like if he had that stop and start like a Jahmyr Gibbs, where like he goes 0 to 60 immediately, then it's like, okay, I don't care about you doing that, right? Or Saquon Barkley, where you go, he goes 0 to 100 like that. It is what it is. You know what I mean? You got to do what you got to do, but he does not have that, right? You're not Saquon. You're not Jahmyr Gibbs, bro. You're Ashton Genty. You got to run through motherfuckers. You're a Marshawn type. You got to run through a motherfucker face. And that's the change I would like to see personally coming into that next year from him. Definitely get stronger, right? But that's going to happen. That's natural. But a little bit of that change going into it, bro. Sinister Titan, man. I'm honestly scared that we end up beating the Giants. I don't know about that. I don't know. They have a little bit more offense than we do. I will say that. That's where I'm hanging my hat on. They have more offense than we do. They can score. We can't score. We can't score worth a damn. So I mean, that might be a saving grace. Walk Pete out the door after week 18. Oh, we're gonna talk about it because we already got a nice little story that's already brewing. Snakey Langston, man. Every other team wins the line of scrimmage somewhere. Yeah. It's not about the draft though, Snakey. You can draft one, but and this year where we're picking, there is no prospect that warrants getting selected there at the O-line position. But you can get that in free agency, man. Get in free agency. You don't have to get that all right there. You know what I mean? In the draft. Genty falls down on first contact. He's not a loser. No, he's not. He's not. Oh, good question. Then we'll get into the defense. Want your take. If Mendoza and Moore were in that 2024 class, where would you rank them before with all the QBs that were taken then, not taking in pro careers? I had both after May, but before McCarthy. Okay, so who was in that class? That was Caleb. Nah, not above Caleb. They're not above Jaden. They're not above Drake. So I'll give you that. You're 100% right. Yeah, I will put personally, Dante would be 4 because he would be above Bo Nix to me. He would be above Bo Nix. Be honest with you, bro. I didn't like Bo Nix coming out, bro. I didn't like Bo Nix coming out. I'd put Fernando above Bo Nix. Because it would be between Fernando and Penix. That's where my holdup would be. you can interchange those, but both of them would be before Bo Nix to me. Now I know a lot of people are gonna be like, "Oh, well, the Broncos are 11-2 or whatever." Bro, it's not because of Bo Nix. I'm gonna be real. Now, yesterday was a good little sample size. He played well yesterday, but I don't think overall they're 11-2 because of Bo Nix. I will say that. So yeah, they're both before McCarthy for sure. So honestly, I'd rank it Caleb. Let's answer it. Caleb, Jaden, and this is now Jaden, Caleb, and then we go Jaden, Caleb, Drake, boom. Then you go ahead and go Dante Moore after that. You know what? I'd put Fernando after that. I put Fernando after I would put Fernando after Dante, then Penix, then Bo Nix, and then McCarthy. That's how I would rank it. That's probably how I would rank it. Let's see, man. DJ, I know that was long-winded, but that's probably how I would rank it. Genty needs a Gruden-like coach that will get on him and tell him to hit the hole and stop dancing. Yep, 100%, 100%. That's exactly yep. Indiana would have lost again to Will Howard. Interesting. That's an interesting conversation. Reason I say that is to give context to people thinking we should pass on the QB and wait for next year. Get where you can. Yep, 100%. 100%. Dante Moore would be 4 in that 2024 class to me. No question. He would be 4. I mean, the other dudes are more like athletically gifted, so that's why they probably go before. But as far as like throwing the ball, he right there. He's right there. And he's only 20 right now. Will be 21 when he's drafted, right? So that's another layer of the intrigue that you can talk about like that. So let's get into the spicy talk, right? Real quick. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Grab that. All right. Now, we're going to get into the defensive talk. Check this out. Okay, this is where it's going to get spicy. Oh, this is where we're going to start talking about some things. Okay, so now, if you look at just like the stats, okay, if you just look at the stats and you look at our defensive stats, you'll see the leading tackler. Oh, man, 16 tackles, Devin White. Dog, and then you'll be like, man, what a resurgence from Devin White, right? Like, dude's been playing well. He's came out of the blue and out of the shadows. He's our most improved player, right? Wrong. If you watch the game, bro, you would very well know that Devin White is very good and terrible. He is trash, dog. I don't know no other way to put it. I know there are going to be some people that are like, man, but, he leads us in tackles. He does these things. Bro, for every tackle that Devin White makes, there are 2 missed tackles and 1 give-up play. So right now, my man is batting 1 for 4, right? That's only good in baseball. That's it. It's the only motherfucking sport that shit is good in. To me right now, bro, I am ready. I would be ready to cut his ass immediately. Why do I say that? I saw him give up on a number of plays yesterday. There was one, and there's no winking dick. If y'all saw the clip, y'all probably saw it. We'll probably bring it up if we can. Max Crosby and him getting into it. If y'all saw that and y'all were like, well, why are they getting into it? What's the issue? Because Devin White is sitting there jogging to the edge. When he's supposed to be setting the edge, he's sitting there jogging to it and just watching Buddy stroll on in. I'm good. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if we paying this man in circus peanuts. I don't give a fuck. That effort right there is why we are where we are. Plain and simple. You got veterans coming in here collecting that escrow check, right? That's it. They over here, they just collecting shit for the 401k when they come to the Raiders. And that's exactly what Devin White is doing. I'll stand for it no longer. I don't care if we paying this man in Pete's gum. I don't care. When you have effort of this nature, it shows the dysfunction. It shows the lack of leadership, right? And it just shows the overall I don't give a fuck. That's all it is. The overall I don't give a fuck. He can come out here and give whatever interview, right? They can talk about whatever they want. There could be announcers and all the extra bringing up whatever gaudy stats you'd like to bring up to me. But when I put my 2 eyes on that TV screen and I watch 45 play the game, I can tell instantly in a couple plays he don't give a fuck. I don't care what you tell me. There could be some people up in here that may disagree. I wholeheartedly disagree with you. I don't care, bro. I'm ready to get rid of this man, bro. I don't give a fuck how many tackles he makes. And maybe it's not. Maybe it's not, right? Maybe that was Spy Tech's guy, because my boy DJ brought this up on X. Maybe that was a Spy Tech dude as well. So Spy Tech got to take that lump, right? You got to take that lump. As bad as Kappa is, right? As bad as Kappa is, I don't see the shit. I don't see the shit I be seeing from Devin White, bro. I do not see the shit I be seeing from Devin White, bro. This right here, Devin White shouldn't have to be making so many plays. In a better defense, he probably looks decent, but is exposed by us. No. It's not that, Pig. It's not that. I can't trust this man to make basic tackles. Let's be honest. Be honest, right? Be honest. How many linebackers can you really play that are just really unplayable in zone coverage? That means you can't see the field. You might as well convert your position to DN. If that's the case for Devin White, because he cannot play zone coverage. We didn't even talk about zone coverage. We just talked about his effort. Now we can really talk about on the field. As far as zone coverage, how many plays has this man made in the past? You know, pass coverage, anything like that. And in all the games this year that us as Raider fans have sadly sat through and watched, how many plays has 45 made in the pass game? I'll wait. None. I can tell you how many times I've seen him look lost as shit in the pass game, though. Where every time it don't fail. It does not fail. When I watch a Raider game, I guarantee you, if a ball is thrown in the middle of the field, I'm seeing 45. Every time. It don't matter. That's just what it is. So again, I can't just play no linebacker that's unplayable in the zone coverage or just in passing schemes. I just can't do it. Then that means your ass basically a D end. If all you can do is blitz and rush the passer, you feel what I'm saying? Like, if that's all you can do, you're a D end. So like again, and so I would say like, all right, bro, I can live with you not being that great in the pass, whatever. I can live with it if you were a consistent run stuffing linebacker. He's not even that, right? He's not even that. How many tackles do we watch Devin White miss in the open field? Many. And again, this is not directed at you, Pitch. It's just the simple fact of like, there are guys on this team that's just, they don't care. And they'll be gone next year. It is what it is, right? It is what it is. But yeah, bro, like I'm tired of watching him running around like a chicken with his head cut off on his defense. I'm good. I don't care how many like late tackles he makes after the ball carrier broke his tackle initially, gained another extra 5 yards, and then he came back and made a tackle like that. I'm good. I'm good, bro. It could be sports bet. Oh, for sure. I call for investigation. I might call for an investigation on this team. No capery. We might have to call. Hey, look, we said it before. We kind of like them people that got Chauncey and them, but we might have to actually call them people, right? Because we got field goals being taken at the end of the game where there's no chance of winning. Players just giving up on plays, man. There might be some betting going on up in here. Who knows? He really should be playing 3-4 outside linebacker because he doesn't do much well. He should just rush the pass. He's a D end, bro. He's a D end. Devin White is a glorified D end. That's what he is. Because he cannot do anything else as far as linebacker-wise or anything linebacker-wise consistently. Only thing he can do is apply pressure to a quarterback. So that's it, right? That's it. Now, going into it, right? I mean, what can we say about the defense, bro? I mean, the Eagles were moving through this defense like milk moves through a lactose intolerant stomach. Shit was just moving through, right? The shit was just moving through. There was no goddamn resistance whatsoever, bro. Whatsoever. And I mean, we lose count. How many weeks in a row? How many weeks in a row where it's like, okay, we can clearly see the offense ain't doing shit today, and then you can see the give up. Like you can see the give up right there, right? You see the give up in the game is happening today. And that falls on leadership, that falls on coaching, all that good stuff, right? Static Vision says it best. It's no leadership in the locker room, period. Nobody listen to Pete Carroll bullshit start to finish. Because that shit runs stale. It runs stale. This just looks like man, like y'all been in school and it's about to be winter break. You got that one class, that one period that you just you hate. You hate it, right? You hate it. But I just got a couple more weeks with this teacher, man. A couple more goddamn weeks with this teacher, and I ain't got to see this motherfucker no more. That's where it is. That's where we are, right? That's exactly where we are with Pete and all them. Man, Sinister Titan sounds like another Jack Jones situation. He had flashy interceptions but wouldn't tackle. Yeah, 100%. 100%. I still would like to have Jack Jones on this roster right now, just for the depth piece, but it is what it is. Now, let's get into some juicy news, shall we? Because when you go off the defense and you do all these things, and the defense has the performance that they do, you're questioning what's going on with a defensive-minded head coach. You're like, okay, well, like, you're supposed to be the guy that fixed the defense, correct? Like, you're supposed to be the guy that helped this defense be good. If we weren't, at least the offense could be competent, but the defense was supposed to be the calling card, right? With a defensive-minded head coach like Pete Carroll. But 31-0, and this is not the first time you've been skunked this year. This is not the first time you've been blown out by plus 20. Like, dog, I don't know what else needs to be said. Nothing else needs to be said, bro. You know what time it is, and he got to be fired. But the pressure might be mounting. Now. Shout out to the reporters for asking these questions, because I want to see what happens when these questions are asked, right? Body language is a lot for me, so I want to see how he looks. Now, this is what Pete looked like when asked, will he be fired soon?
Are you feeling any outside pressure or even more pressure within the organization?
There's so much pressure that comes right from here. I mean, if you could even imagine, nobody can pressure me more than myself. And my expectations and the standards that I've lived by and worked by are so high that they're almost impossible to meet. But that's still the way I know how to live, and still the way I know how to coach.
So, notice something here. I'm gonna ask you guys real quick. Did he answer that question? Don't let me. Did he answer? Did he really answer that question to y'all? I don't think he did. Personally, I think he sat there and fucking he danced around that question beautifully. Right? I mean, ooh-wee. I personally think he already know what time it is. I mean, we talked about it on the show for weeks. This is not no surprise. We're going to talk about a story that just came out, but this is not no surprise. We talked about it on the show for weeks, but he did not answer that question. And the reason he's not answering that question is because he already knows the writing's on the wall. He's not coming back. Don't let reporters like Hondo and some JT the fucking brick start polluting your minds and saying like, oh man, like, by the way, bro, I'll get into that later. But, don't let those type of individuals cloud your mind and cast second doubt on you. Like, oh, man, Pete Carroll's coming back. No, the fuck he's not. He's not coming back, bro. Now, if this is from what I know. Now, if the minds are changed and somehow he convinces them that he has to come back, then I give up on Tom and Mark at that point. But from what I know and from what is being thrown around, he's gone, bro. He's gone. I'm telling y'all right now, he's gone. So ease your minds on that, right? Ease your minds on that. But either way, he knows the writing's on the wall. That's why he's not answering the questions. That's why he's like, there's so much pressure from here. It's a good way to dance around the question. Now, we go into another story that's here, right? And shout out, of course, Raiders Resistance always for the graphics. This is Pete Carroll saying if he's lost the locker room. And obviously you see the picture here that is detailing. This is the exact moment that we were talking about when Devin White sat there and gave up on a play. It was full view, 4K. Saw it too. Max Crosby didn't let that shit slide, which, of course, as a fan, you appreciate. But Let's see what Pete Carroll says in saying, has he lost the locker room?
Pete, you told us and talked about the preseason how you expected this team to be competitive and to be one that would fight. And I'm not saying they've quit, but with 2 wins.
Oh, these guys fought their ass off. Hold on. Let me address that because you brought it up. They fought their ass off. That was the result. They didn't stop fighting. That was the result of our play right there. And I have a lot of respect for the roster we just played against. And maybe they didn't look like it in the last couple of weeks or whatever, but they played like they were capable, and we couldn't stop them. And so that's what I saw.
You told us and talked about what I said. I'm not saying they've quit. I'm asking you, what with this team where they are right now, what do you think that is going on? Because you didn't think this is where they would be.
Well, I would never think we would. What would I base that thought on, that we would be really fighting for our life here? I have nothing but wins and background and history and all of that to set our expectations and to maintain the standards that we work by. And that's what we're doing. We're still doing it. We're still practicing hard. We're still working hard. We're still studying hard. The guys are giving good effort. They're in the weight room. They're fighting their tails off. The only good thing that happened was anybody hurt today, but they're doing all we're asking of them. And this is the result of it against the world champs last year, who maybe weren't playing quite like that for a month here or whatever, but they look like it today. They look like a great team today.
One more clip to show y'all, folks. Bear through.
Where maybe not kind of checked out, but there was a little bit of a breaking point today. It felt like a little competitive nature. You sense that with this team, and what do you have to do?
No, I don't sense that at all. I don't think there's that issue. I think we got beat, and this is a very, very well-loaded team, and they just did their thing today on both sides of the ball, and they really took it to us. We couldn't stop their offense and get off the field on third down, and a couple penalties got in our way, and they were able to do what they needed to do. They ran for a bunch. They threw really highly efficient stuff. Wasn't taxing for them. We couldn't make it hard on them, and we couldn't get out of the way on offense. We couldn't make any yards, and so that third downs and all that. I mean, I don't think it's.
Well, I can't take no more. Sorry. Yeah, I hate watching these pressures, bro. I hate it. At least last year, like AP would like say some shit where you like, I respect it. Fuck it. You know what I mean? Respect. This year is just like just a whole bunch of dribble. Like I don't want to hear that shit. But to be honest with y'all, bro, again, we talking about my boy up here said it best. Where was it? This is it. Yeah. He Euro stepped around that question like he was Dirk Nowitzki, didn't he? I mean, again, same thing. Euro stepping again, bro. I mean, and we're gonna keep that. Every time from now on. When a coach, when a player dodges a question, we're gonna call him Euro stepping. That's what we call it. I like that shit. But what I will say, we can hear the words. But this is where your own, discernment comes from. We all watched the games. If you didn't, again, I don't blame you. But we all watched the game yesterday, and we've been watching the games for weeks. This don't look like no team that's bought in. I don't care. It don't look like a team that's bought in. Even so, some of you that didn't like AP, we can compare, because last year we were 4-12, so we were trash, right? So we can compare. Even in a 4-12 year, at what point did we look like this last year? At what point? We were competitive, at least, right? At least that's why I continuously, made that argument to people where it's like, bro, like this is a coach in his first year. If he would have came out and this was the result again, and we were this trash again in his second year, by all means, yes, fire him, get rid of him. Then he's not a good coach. But this is a coach in his first year, rookie year. At no points did we look like this last year in a 4-12 season. This, like, we look divided. There's no synergy. Nobody looks connected, right? Even in previous year, even with DC. Think about Derek Carr and some of them trash lean years. Even then, you felt a sense of unity. You felt team still, right? You were like, all right, we trash, but You know, maybe we can fuck around, get it around. You get Gruden, and then you start to feel something, right? You start to feel togetherness. You're like, all right, bro, something's changing. You don't feel that at all. You don't feel that at all. There's nothing to cling to. There's nothing to be like, man, you know, this is it. You know what I mean? We can hold on to this. Like, for example, look at the Saints, right? Look at the Saints. They suck. I mean, not all that much now, but their record is bad, right? But look at the belief. First of all, they drafted a quarterback, but look at the belief they have, right? Where you're like, okay, you know, some shit's turning. We winning games. And we started with game. We're not going to the playoffs, but it's looking good. Look at Minnesota. Minnesota's not going to the playoffs at all. Quarterback turmoil up the ass, right? But last night, as a fan, as a Vikings fan, if you're a Vikings fan, you're like, okay, there you go. We can add that to the folder. And this is hope, right? This is hope. We don't have that. We don't have that shit at all. So that's why it's like, you know, it's so frustrating. So frustrating from a veteran coach nonetheless, right? Because from a first-year head coach, if this was happening, okay, sure. But again, we had a first-year head coach, and at no points did I ever see just a player get released out of the blue for no apparent reason. I see another player have locker room turmoil first month on the job, right? And talking about, you know, kissing folks and doing all this extra shit first month on the job. And now we got to release him based off a settlement issue. Didn't see that last year. Never didn't see teammates bickering and fighting and doing all this extra shit. Didn't even hear players last year talking about we're questioning the message. At what point did you hear a player say last year, I'm kind of questioning the direction we're going? I've heard it from 4 separate players this year. 4. From a veteran coach. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, frustrating the direction, you know? And this is where you can blame Mark, because Mark likes to go for that shiny shit, you know? That's Mark's problem. Mark always likes to go for the shiny objects when you don't have the shit to lure him in, right? We talked about it all the time, right? We need number 1 picks. We need, you know, all this cap space money and all this extra to lure the coaches, bro, because from the outside in, this is a dysfunctional organization. The only way you get to bring in coaches that want to maybe have a chance with that, like, you know, maybe the Washingtons or the Houstons, how dysfunctional they were looking and all that before CJ and D'Amico Ryans. You do that when you have capital, draft capital, money, right? That's the only way these coaches take these chances. They can do what they want and put their stamp. Mark always wants to go for the shiny toy, flashy object when you got layaway money, big dog. You ain't got all that. I mean, like, yeah, you can pay these coaches, but as far as all the extra shit, as far as giving them what they need to succeed, a quarterback, you know, assets, you don't give them that. You don't have that, right? You only give them the promise of filling their fucking pockets. That's all you give them. And that's on Mark. Right? That's on Mark. If Mark had more patience, then we still keep AP. And guess what? If AP sucks, we're right back in the coaching cycle again, like we're still doing. Doesn't matter, bro. Then there's always going to be a coach. And again, right, everybody wanted Ben Johnson. That was the hot shot name. But now you look around, okay, what if you end up getting Jesse Minter out the deal if you waited 2 years, right? I think a lot of us would be happy. You get a Clint Kubiak, a lot of us would be happy, right? So it's like, at that point, bro, we have to, that's on Mark. That's on Mark. Always wanting the flashy shit. He did it with Josh McDaniels, remember? You know, you could say the Gruden thing worked, but at the end of the day, he did it with John Gruden and Jack Del Rio. You know, he does it a lot. So this year, now with Mark in the building, Tom in the building, maybe it changes. But either way, y'all know me, man. I still got my eyebrow raised at Tom. Now, we bring up another story about lacks of effort. Check this out. Adam Butler, Adam Butler is a 31-year-old veteran in this league. He is unhappy that Raiders players are giving half-assed or half-ass effort, right? He spoke and said there are too many voices talking and not enough people doing. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's very evident. That speaks volume, don't it? He says, as a leader, I just try to show the young guys what to do, how to play the run, how to play the pass, how to be a smart football player. That's all I can do. I've learned very quickly through this season that you can only control what you can control. You can't control what others people's jobs or what anybody else is doing. The only thing you can focus on is you. I try to focus on being a leader to the young guys that look up to me. Yeah. Yeah. You know what that sound like, bro? That sound like players having to coach themselves. That's what it sounds like to me. Players having to coach themselves, bro. And when you get in that situation, you instead of young guys going to coaches to learn and do these things, and of course you're still gonna have young guys go to veterans, like that's just natural in the locker room and shit like that. But it's the good mix. It's the good mix, right? Where you have coaches that you lean on, the coaches that you like, and are teaching what you need, and you also have the veteran at the same time. But right now, we got guys relying on the veteran. Right? Because they ain't learning shit from the coaches. That's how I feel. And that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like to me. 100%, bro. 100%. 100%. John Spytek needs to be smart and hire his own coach. And I think that's what's going to happen. That's what they're going to do. Static says, man, Pete is done. He did worse than AP. We know this. Yes, but damn, you fucked off this year's draft by long shot, man. We could have got our QB of the future and some linemen. Sure. I mean, look, we're still going to get a QB. That's happening. I mean, I'll tell you that right now. I know some of y'all may not like Fernando, or then you better hope Dante declares, whatever the case, bro. Whatever the case. A quarterback's coming. Quarterback's happening. If you got a top 2 pick, no way you get out of there with no quarterback. No way. Unless you pull some switcheroo. Because right now, look, hey, the QB class is thin. A lot of people have went back to school, bro. And then right now, Fernando hasn't even declared, but the way his year's going, he's declaring. So you go into that. Dante Moore hasn't said nothing, but the way this QB class is, and if he plays well in the playoffs, bro, Ty Simpson is another one to kind of watch. He's another one to kind of watch. Preface this by saying I do believe that with Ty Simpson and Dante Moore, them two got to sit for the first year. I don't think Fernando needs to sit because he's more pro ready. I wouldn't take him over Dante Moore, but he would be the more like play now type of option for me. He'd be the more play now type of option. So you go in there. We're looking at Adam Butler. Now, this is the big story right here. Report per NBC Sports. The league sources are speculating that the Las Vegas Raiders and head coach Pete Carroll will agree to some sort of negotiated resolution that will see Carroll retire at season's end and receive a portion of the contract he is owed. Again, hey man, how many times have we talked about this? How many times we talked about this on the show, bro? He's gone. He's gone. And the retirement thing just makes sense because he's a legendary type of coach. You don't fire or just like outright like throw his ass out the building with this type of pedigree. You agree to something, you shake hands under the table, and you just be like, all right, bro, like appreciate your service. You couldn't do shit for us this year, but it is what it is. And then you go on, and then everybody quietly forgets this last year for Pete Carroll. That's it. You know what I mean? That's the way it's gonna go. And I'm not mad at it. Not mad at it, of course. It's time for him to go. It's time for us to get our younger head coach. And this is where we get into the deep conversation right now before we get ready to end the show off. Again, appreciate everybody for tapping in. I appreciate everybody for tapping in. We're gonna get ready to end the show off soon, get the rundown going. But hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if it's the first time. Now, let's get into some of that conversation. Okay, right? You know where we at now. 3 games left. The ticker has been on the bottom the whole time. So you know what it means. Tankathon watch, baby. Tankathon watch. Right now we're number 2. We're number 2. Now I wanna, Get y'all opinions, what y'all want to do, and I definitely want to talk about it real quick. Now, I'm saving the show because I personally like to do these things, when I know the news will be relevant. So I'm gonna save our head coaching list show for next week because then we'll only have 2 weeks left. That and we play the Giants. Right? And we play the Giants. I want to do the head coaching search or the head coaching rank show after we play the Giants because then we're solidified. We 100% know probably what's going on at that point, right? So, but real quick, man, Tankathon watch for number 2. Where are y'all going? What would y'all like to do? Are y'all, Fernando stands? What's the deal with it? School to pro. First time I'm seeing you here. Appreciate it. Chargers or Broncos? Who would Raider fans pick to win the division or Super Bowl? I'd rather gouge my eyes out. I'd rather gouge my eyes out. Man, my boy DJ, man, that's on PC and PG to check those dudes who are talking too much and not producing. 100%. 100%. P. Lopan says, trade the pick to the Jets, get a bunch of first-round picks. Okay. Are you still doing that if Fernando is the only quarterback on the board? Are you still going to do that? I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I just want to know, like, what would you do? We know this, bro. You at the right channel. We know this. Let me see. Pig says NIL money is lucrative. It is, but if you're a top 5 pick, it don't even compare. Raider haters don't want us to get a QB because they know what time is about to become once we do land one. 100%, Greg. That's speaking. This is why a lot of people are like, don't do it. Because once we finally do get one, right, it's going to be like, okay, this is what we've been missing for the whole time. It's going to be a breath of fresh air. That's all we wanted. Yep. Mike says top 10 pick QB money more than NIL deal. Yeah, 100%. We talking about guys returning in general, not top 10. Sorsby, for instance. Yeah. So like Sorsby's returning. He's not a top 10 guy. Now Dante is a top 10 guy, right? He's a top 10 guy, but it makes the options thin, right? Because you're not sitting there saying for like top 10 for all the trade down folk. If you wanted to trade down and maybe pull something in the back half of the first round, you can't even do that, right? Because there are no quarterbacks to take unless you're talking about the ones that were supposed to be the guys this year, like the Allers, the Klubniks, the Nussmeyers. Like those are the ones right there, like that you can be like, oh, maybe later in the draft, but we've seen them decline at a rapid rate. So it's like, how much would I want them? Not much for me personally. Can they become something? Yes. Can they become something? Yes. Not saying that. Now, I want people to realize when you start talking about, oh, man, let's take Drew Aller, let's do that. When you do that, I just want you to sit back and reflect and start talking about who the fuck is going to develop him. Who? We do not have the roster nor the coaching staff that have the proven record to say he's developed quarterbacks. Unless you get a Brian Daboll. Unless you get like a Brian Daboll, which would mean you get a defensive head coach. But if you get a Brian Daboll, then okay, you got me. Now I can sit there and that's tangible. That's tangible. But let's not just throw this into the air. Like, oh yeah, we're just gonna get Drew Aller, and then he's like automatically gonna develop. From who? Like, who's going to do the work? That's the next question that needs to be followed with, hey, we're just gonna get like a Drew Aller or a Klubnik in the 5th or 4th round and trade back in the 1st round. We're gonna start having these conversations, bro. Because every time somebody gives me, and this is not you, Pigs, but this is more like when I'm on Twitter or just anything. Anytime somebody gives me we should trade back scenario, right? I think somebody said it. Pilo said this, right? Or trade back or something like that. But anytime somebody gives me the trade back scenario, when I ask them like, okay, once we do that, then what are we going to do at quarterback? The plan is never good. The plan is never good. I've not heard not one plan where I can be like, oh yeah, that's cool. Huh? Like, it's like, okay, right now, everybody's like, okay, trade back. You know, if you tell me, oh, take Drew Aller in the 5th round, if that's your quarterback plan, conversation's over right there. You got it, big dog. You got it. You got it. If you're telling me that after the year you've just watched that you're putting all your eggs in the Drew Aller basket and that's it, hey, you got it. Now, I'll say this, right? I'll say that's why I'm like, I can't do that. I cannot do that. Not in the full basket like that, bro. And that's my only plan. That's what I'm saying. We got to have smarter plans. What else? What would you do? What would you do? Because I need to know what the options would be. You feel what I'm saying? Because we can't just take him and be like, oh man, we're just, you know, so he's gonna develop into something. How? You know what I'm saying? Like, how? Where? We're at this point now as a fan base, bro. We have to start having these conversations. We can't just like put shit in the air and be like, that's what's gonna happen. We have to, like, at this point, bro, we gotta damn near like put the steps to the path of where we need to go. Let me see. Number 5 pick is $42 million contract. 100%. That's what I'm saying. You gotta do that. Trade first pick. What's okay? From 1 to 10, how much do you believe we would get Joe Burrow? From 1 to 10. You know what I'm saying? Just let me know. Troy, trade back for more picks and get quarterback from Vandy. And that's your franchise guy? 6 feet? 220 Diego Pavia, who, by the way, I would be honest with y'all. All that shit y'all was talking about Shedeur last year, if he would have did half of the things Diego Pavia is doing right now, the racial tension would be thick as Lizzo. That shit would be thick as Lizzo in here, bro. I don't want to hear that shit. I'm cool off Diego Pavia, bro. I'm cool. I don't give a fuck what bullshit apology he tweets on X about going to the club, talking about fuck Indiana, fuck the voters, right after you get out of a Heisman speech. Clown shit. Clownery. I'm good. I'm straight. Next. Let's see what else we have. I hate overpaying rookies who haven't done shit. Sure. I get that, but at the point right now, you know, you got to go ahead and do something. I'm the only one holding out hope. We trade for Shedeur. Browns don't want him. Yeah. I mean, if that's like your last conclusion, maybe. But it's like you'd have to see what the Browns want to give up, all the extra, and see what happens. Let's see. We might as well take Kyler Murray if we go that deep in the QB well. Personally, I don't want to do that. I really don't, because of the contract handicaps you, bro. And we need many a position. You know what I mean? Like, that's a lot of money we got to give him, and we still need pieces. We are not close. So that's the only reason I'm like, I want the rookie contract, because we can still build. If you take Kyler Murray, bro, that handicaps you with his contract, and now you got to work around that shit to still build the roster, which I'm not trying to do, personally. And you got to give up hella draft capital to get him, because they're not going to release him, because their cap space would be astronomical if they did that. I would like to draft 2 or 3 quarterbacks. I'm mad at it, but we need so many positions. I don't think you just stab like and just be like, oh, quarterback. That's the problem. Let me see, man. Robinson, yeah, going back. Shoresby going back. Mincer going back. But they all should have went back anyway. There wasn't like, you know, I didn't see no underclassmen. I was like, oh yeah, they got to come out. No. Gave out a trade back scenario where I take Sorsby or Maaba. We got to take Sorsby out, right? Because Sorsby is going back to school. Maaba hasn't declared yet, so we don't know. Mike has told us that he's going to declare. So if he does, then there you have that. But if not, oof. He probably is, though. I ain't gonna lie to you. Mayaba's probably declaring this thin ass quarterback class. He's probably gonna come out and make him some money. I haven't seen enough of any QBs to go crazy, but I'm not on the trip. I am on the trade back and get QB2. Depends who that is. I mean, again, you just got to see who declares. Like, if it's just the scenario could present itself where it is just Fernando. That's it. You know what I mean? Just Fernando. It could present itself. And if that's the case, fuck. You know what I mean? You probably just gotta just take that. Guys are going back. Yeah. A lot of people are. If we trade back, we go O-line or take wide receiver or even defense. If we trade back, I want a defensive end. I want a D lineman. If we trade back, I'll tell you that right now. D lineman. D end, D lineman, somebody that's going to affect the quarterback. Give Max some help. That's exactly what I want. Green from Arkansas is a good bet as well. Oh, yeah, he's going back. He ain't that good of a year anyway. Denzel Boston, yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. We had the first pick in the first round, first pick in the second round. What if Denzel Boston slips to that second round? You grab that immediately. Mike McCarthy as what, a head coach or OC? I'm not mad at McCarthy because he developed quarterbacks, but Pavia as a late pick would be all right for pushing the QB room to develop. I don't know, man. I'm good off that, to be honest with you. I'm hell no on Joe Burrow. We saw what he did yesterday. We already know, Mike. We know you want Mayaba. Let me see. USC QB should go back. They had a huge recruiting class. He probably should, but a lot of people say he might not. Pavia, nobody takes seriously because he's a projected UDFA. Pretty much. Let me see, man. Tony, man, what's going on, Tony? Appreciate you for tapping in. Tyler says, if Dante Moore is projected number 2 pick, that would be around $48 million to consider. Come on now. Over $4 million at Oregon? Stop it. Go in there. If you go to the Raiders, Tom Brady has already said he wants you to sit. Sit on down, right? Hell no on Murray. I'm kind of leaning that way, bro. I kind of don't want Kyler Murray. We're not there yet. Paint matters. If we get Mendoza, we have to get an offensive-minded coach to develop him. That would be for Moore, too. Dante Moore, too. We got to get somebody offensive. He's only, he young. So we got to get somebody that can develop him quickly. And develop him into somebody that we can use. Raiders can't develop QB's best bet is to sign the fit. See, this thinking right here is why the coaching matters. Because if you get a Clint Kubiak, you're not saying that, right? You're like, oh, okay. That's better. You know what I mean? That's better. So it just depends. Screaming Eagle, need to help Max out. Yes. Either way it goes, Max either needs help in that first round. If you trade back, he either needs help in that first round or he needs help in that second round. But either way it goes, it's got to happen. But it sucks because we need so many positions, right? We need so many positions and so little slots in the draft. So let's see what we can do in free agency. Hopefully we can fill out the free agency and flesh that out so that when we are in the draft, we ain't got to feel like we got to draft the world. You know what I mean? Because that's what it felt like this year. A little bit. Now credit, I still think some of these draft picks are good. We saw Charles Grant get some action yesterday. He looked pretty good in his handful of reps. Okay, right? Caleb Rogers kind of got worked yesterday, baptized, and Porter got baptized, but these are Super Bowl champs. I'm not tripping off that. So it is what it is, bro. Still, I've seen them look good at points in this year. I like them, man. I like them. I think we got some good guys to develop. But it just felt like we were trying to draft the world, draft everything this year, and we cannot do that. We can't do that. This year, we have to have a singular focus, and we have to see if we can trade, if we can sign a lot of guys in free agency to fill the needs. That way, in the draft, we can focus on important positions. I saw 805 say this yesterday. Shout out to my guy because he's 100% correct. When you're in the draft, the best thing you would like to do is draft all the positions that take up the most capital, that take up the most cap space, meaning you want to draft a quarterback because you have that window to not have to pay him to sign guys. You want to draft a left tackle, that amount of money that takes, a D end, that amount of money that takes to sign those guys, right? Because if you're trying to get them in free agency, that takes a lot of chunk of change. But if you're drafting these guys, you definitely get the cheaper rate, right? You get the cheaper rate until until the contract comes up and all the extra. But of course, you can always work around that with extensions and things of that nature. So right now, bro, what we got to do is try to fill as many voids and needs around the most important positions as we can, right? Like O-line, get the O-line in free agency. Because we already got a left tackle, right? We got that. So get the interior solved. Maybe get another right tackle, because I just saw it. Forsyth has given up 111 pressures this year, I believe. DJ Glaze have given up 100. So 1 and 3 on pressure rates this year. So you're probably going to have to get another right tackle. I do think you can bump Glaze in the guard. We talked about this, and we'll talk about it more at length. But bump Glaze in the guard, sign you another right tackle. If you want to get Linderbaum from the Ravens, I'm all for that. That's where that chunk of change needs to be spent. Because when you do acquire the quarterback, you still got capital for the next year to move around, to trade, and do all these things that you need to do. But your offensive line is set. And you already got a running back, right? So we got weaponry. You already got Bowers. You got to get a receiver, too, because them receiver monies, that's another thing that you would like to draft, right? Because those receiver contracts are nasty work. So that's another thing you would probably like to draft instead of what we've been doing with Devontae Adams and all the extra shit and just getting big money receivers. That's probably what you want to do. I would love to solve these things in as much as we can in the free agency so that when the draft comes, we can have targeted needs. That's where I'm at right here. So real quick, man, before we we do have a center. But it depends what the next guard wants to do or the next coach wants to do, Because everybody talks about Linderbaum, but the next coach in here is like, hey, well, I don't know what the fuck they was playing him at guard and they put him back at center. Well, then it's, different story for sure. And then we go into that. So real quick, man, we about to go ahead and get ready to get on out of here. Been a nice little show, of course, man. But before we do get out of here, hold on, give me 1 second. Where are we at? Yes, sir. Before we do get out of here, man, y'all know what we got to do, man. Real quick, our last segment of the show, which is real quick, man, the rundown. Y'all know what it is, man. We're going to go ahead and break it down, put it in a nice little silver and black bow. Again, Raiders take another embarrassing ass whooping 31-0 in Philly to the Philadelphia Eagles. No brotherly love, as y'all saw in the title. But it's needed. I mean, this is the second time the Raiders have been shut out this year. Second time. And I believe, 6th or 7th time they've been defeated by 20+ points. I think that's it. So 6th or 7th time. Coupled with the fact that your quarterback threw 65 yards in this game. This was the quickest game in NFL history. It's just nasty work, bro. This all-out embarrassment. This is the lowest I've seen us in forever. This is the worst team I've seen in forever. A lot of people, that game in 2 weeks is very crucial. Very, 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 very crucial against the Giants, man. But we'll talk about that when we get there. But this just shows, and it's another addition to the folder of why Pete Carroll should not be returning next year and why it's so crucial for us to get this number 1 pick. Who the fuck wants to come and coach this type of team after this type of year and you're left with the 4th or 5th overall pick? After this type of debacle type of year, bro, you need the number 1. You need the number 1, bro. That's the only way to attract some of these coaches and some of this coaching talent. That's it. It's the only way. So we'll see how that goes, man. 3 games left. As y'all can see, man, we're close, bro. 3 games left, and no longer do we have to watch this. But I'm at this point, it's not even about Raider football. We're just, keeping our eyes on it to see if we lose or whatever the case at this point. But it's about watching these college games. The playoffs are starting. And we are going to be able to get our first look. I think Dante Moore plays this week. And then we get our first look at Fernando Mendoza New Year's Day, right? Rose Bowl. So I'm excited to watch that. That's going to be something that I can't wait to put my eyes on. And finally, as Raider fans, we can watch these college games and actually have our recruiting eye on and be like, yeah, these are games that are important to see how we draft, how, you know, where we can go. So I'm excited to get into that. Make sure you guys hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Of course, we'll be doing a lot of recruiting content on Rundown U as well, man, talking about college ball. It's going to be a good weekend this week for Rundown U, man. We got championship weekends to talk about, college games to talk about, and playoff games and all the extra. So make sure y'all tune into that channel over there, man. It's going to be a good championship and college weekend this weekend. But until then, y'all already know the deal, man. What I say every time before we get up out of here, man. Much love to everybody. Hit them buttons. All right, make sure you guys tap on the like, tap on the subscribe button if you're feeling what you're hearing. And of course, I keep it authentic from the clouds to the ground on the Raider Rundown. I'm going to see y'all again Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific time for another show. Till then, y'all be easy, y'all be smooth, and I'll see y'all. Peace.